Hi everybody, it's Sue and Sal again. We're here for another week of the garden tutorial. This is week 4, and we will be covering how to pick up your trays, what's in your trays, the process of hardening them off before you plant them, and then we'll just start talking about garden layout and begin the process of talking about some critter control techniques. And I just want to let folks know that I know people are getting antsy to get their plants in the ground, but you're not too late. We have time. We will be hardening our seedlings off after we get them, and we'll be planting next week.
Hi everybody. We're going to talk a little bit about picking up your Victory Garden trays. As this video premieres on Thursday evening, some of you will have already gotten your trays. However, our other pickup days are Friday and Saturday. Pickup will happen here at Farm Table. You can drive through the alley and pick up your tray, and if this is the first time you've heard about it, Mike has sent out an email to everybody that signed up for the Victory Garden, and this email will kind of outline a little more details of how we're going to pick things up, and also you can sign up for a time slot just so we can space everybody out during the pickup times. So if you haven't seen this email, maybe check your inbox, check your junk mail folder, and it's going to have a lot more details on getting everybody scheduled for pickup. If you are a little unsure where the email has gone, feel free to give Mike an email or a call, and he can help set you up with a pickup time. So we're going to talk a little bit about what you're going to get in your trays. If you want to review week 3's video, we talked a little bit about tomatoes and peppers and your different brassica crops. So for the brassicas, you're going to get a cabbage, you're going to get a kale, and then you're going to get either a broccoli or cauliflower. Tomatoes, we have our cherry tomatoes, and then we've got a slicing tomato. We've also got some sweet peppers for you. And then we didn't talk about the herbs last time, so you're going to get either parsley or cilantro. And they both look a little bit similar, but there's going to be a tag in there so you know what they are. And you can always taste a little bit if you want to be really sure. You're also going to get some basil, which is going to go really nicely with your tomatoes once you start harvesting your crops. And then we're going to get a couple cucurbits. So we're getting a zucchini, and then some winter squash here, and then your cucumbers. And these look very similar to each other, but they will be labeled again. And these guys like to vine and kind of crawl everywhere, so we'll have some good tips for ways to keep your vining plants under control. And finally, you're going to get a little packet of green bean seeds, and these are a super awesome plant to start from seed. They're really easy to grow and are really productive. So once you've got your tray of plants, there's one more step that you're going to need to take before you plant them out. You're going to want to harden your plants off so they have strong stems and good roots, and they're just ready for experiencing full sun and full wind depending on where you're going to plant them. So the process of hardening off just takes a few extra days, but it is well worth it to make sure that your plants are able to transition from their nice cushy greenhouse lifestyle into the nice unforgiving world of the garden. So the process is you're going to want to take your tray, and since it's just a little tray, it should be pretty easy to work with whatever space you have. So you're going to want to put it outside in kind of a sheltered location, and that's just where you're going to bring it back to every day. So you're going to, the first day you get it, you're going to put your plants out in full sun for maybe about 2 hours so they can really start to experience that sunlight. And then you're going to want to put them back into their sheltered location. On day 2, you're going to bring them out into that full sun space for maybe about 4 hours, and then back into the sheltered space. Day 3, you're going to bring them out in the sun for about 6 hours, back to the sheltered space. By day 4, you can either leave them out for 8 hours, or if they're looking really strong and healthy, they have good green leaves, they're not falling over too much, you can just leave them out all day, and now they are hardened off and ready to be planted in the ground. And a few other things to keep in mind while you're doing this process is make sure you're checking them, make sure they're still a little bit moist. You don't want them to get completely dried out. and they are going to dry out a little bit faster because they're in these little pots, and it's, you know, kind of windy and sunny outside, so that's going to have them just dry out faster. So just keep an eye on them, make sure they still have a little bit of moisture. And then also you might notice with some of your plants, they might be getting a little bit of sunburn, which shouldn't be too bad, shouldn't be too much to worry about. I brought a plant from my own house that I've been hardening off for a couple days. And if you can see here, we've got a couple spots where they're just yellow spots, or the leaves are a little bit crinkly. And that, as long as it's just taking up a little space in your plant, that shouldn't be too big of a deal. If whole leaves are starting to turn yellow, or your plant is just really starting to look bad, maybe slow it down and take an extra day for hardening off. Just don't put it in the sun for quite as long. One final thing to keep in mind is that if the nighttime temperatures are going to drop below 50 degrees, you will want to take your plants inside so some of the more heat-loving plants aren't damaged by the cold weather.
So I just wanted to say a couple words about this, because it might not seem like it's that important of a step, and you might be tempted to just pop your plants in the ground. But a greenhouse environment is very, very different than an outdoor environment, and I have done that, and I have killed plants doing that because they just aren't ready for that direct sunlight, and they're not ready for the wind. So if you are feeling tempted to just take your tray home and put the plants in the ground, unless we have just the perfect weather, you're going to be really sad that you did that. You can get away with it if it's like, not too windy and it's cloudy, but otherwise you can really damage your plants. So I highly urge you to follow the process of hardening them off. So here we are, we're in our new Victory Garden. Yeah, we'll get some close-up pictures of it for you, but we've got a 30 by 30 space here out in the parking lot. And we're going to do a nice buffer of clover around the outside, and then we'll lay out our beds and get planting next week. So right now we just have a square patch here, and basically we're going to need to just figure out how we're going to lay our garden out, and then start to sort of make some pathways and figure out what's going where. So again, we're going to need our handy tape measure. As I said, this garden we're going to be putting a buffer of clover. So that's going to go to about here. And then how I'm going to lay out my beds is I'm going to mark things. And then I'm going to use my rake. And I'm just going to kind of make myself a pathway using the rake. And that way I'll know where I'm going to be walking and where I'm going to be planting. When I'm on the farm and I'm going to be actually doing some tilling, I always lay them out really, really straight. But when you're in a garden and you're just going to be, if you're going to just be using a hoe, it doesn't matter quite as much. And so I tend to be a little more loose with how straight my rows are. But if you like them to be straight, you can use this kind of a setup. And we'll show you in more detail next week as we actually start putting things in the ground. But basically, if you have something like a couple of wooden stakes and some string or twine, that setup right there can really help you create a straight row. So next week we'll be doing that, but it might help you to get some of these kinds of things rounded up if you like to have straight rows. And again, it's kind of a matter of personal preference. Okay, so for next week, you're going to want to make sure that you've hardened off your seedlings. You're going to want to make sure that you have a rake or something like that. You're going to want to make sure that your area is kind of ready for planting. And again, you might want some stakes and some string or twine, and a way to water your plants once we get them planted. And then next week, Sal and I will actually be out here in the garden planting everything, and I'll have it mostly laid out so that you can see what that looks like. And yeah, we'll start getting our Victory Garden going here. All right, so one more thing that we'll mention this week, and we'll talk about more as weeks come, are just starting to think about critter control. So people are going to have different things that they're worried about. In town here, I'm guessing our biggest problem is going to be rabbits. So just some things that we can mention. If deer are a problem for you, there's a multitude of options. One of which is get a dog. Dogs help. You can also get some repellent spray. They make some natural deer repellents. Deer also, just to keep in mind, they can jump really, really high, but they don't like to jump a distance, and they don't like to jump into something that they don't understand. So what we do at our farm is we don't have a tall fence. We just have two fences that are about 3 feet apart. So that's kind of one way that you can thwart deer. Another thing that I've heard of is laying fencing on the ground. So you have a fence that's upright, and then you lay a fence next to it, and they don't like to step on that. It confuses them. Sal, do you have any other deer tips that you've?
You know, I would say if you don't have a really tall fence, maybe you have a little short one to keep rabbits out, but you're also worried about deer. Sometimes we'll just put up really tall posts like on the corner, and then we'll string some wire between them and then hang down some like streamers or something that just moves and makes a little bit of noise just so that they think that there's a really tall fence when in fact there isn't.
Yeah, and we can demonstrate some of these things once we actually get the garden planted, and we will have a small fence around here for well, both one because we're in a parking lot, and we don't want people to drive over it, and also we'll put some chicken wire along that fence so that we can help keep the rabbits out. Okay, so another pest that you might have could be groundhogs or woodchucks. Uh, I don't even know what to say about them because they are so destructive. But if you do have a good woodchuck population around your place, you might want to think about starting to do some live trapping. Um, Again, a dog. I mean, I don't know. But I have found that having dogs around can just really help deter, rabbits, deer, woodchucks, all of them. So
In addition to woodchucks, there are some other sort of rodents that might be a problem. I know on our farm we have a decent amount of gophers and ground squirrels. We've got a few moles, which they don't usually get into the garden too much, so I don't worry about them. But the gophers make just big mounds, and they just, will go underground and just mess up your crops. Um, Same with the ground squirrels; they love to nibble on stuff. And so we don't have a dog, which would be really convenient, but we just don't have one at this point in time. So we kind of, do a variety of, we'll do some trapping. We just try to keep their areas, just keep trying to disturb any new holes that we see because they don't really like people being around, and just, really trying to have a presence there because that kind of deters them. So there's a couple different things that you can do. There's, a variety of pests, and you'll kind of learn what your pests are. But the good thing is, usually they're not going to come in and destroy too much the first night. So as long as you're checking your garden out on a daily basis, you should be able to, identify that there's a problem and then take steps to fix it before it gets too bad.
and this is something again that we'll keep talking about all summer, and also there are things that you can do if they do wipe out a certain part of your garden. There's always something else you can plant and make use of that space. So we'll be talking about that as we go along. I'm sure that we'll have some damage here at some point, just like everyone else. So anything else this week? Yeah, I think we're good. So thanks for joining us. And we will be back next week to actually get our gardens planted. So as always, feel free to leave us message or questions in the comments, and we will do our best to get you some answers. All right.
Yep.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks. See ya.